This may or may not be familiar to you, depending upon how old you are. Just being able to put these things together and give yourself a sense of progress that you can look back in 6, 12 months' time and say, hold on, actually, I've come quite far here. So the other day, whilst clearing some things out, I stumbled across this. This may or may not be familiar to you, depending upon how old you are. The National Record of Achievement, this stately looking folder here. I'm going to read something out because I had to look it up actually. So this is this is taken from Wikipedia. So the National Record of Achievement was a folder given to secondary school pupils in the United Kingdom in the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, that was my era. It was a portfolio of documentation relating to a pupil's academic and non-academic achievements, typically including GCSE certificates, certificates from extracurricular activities, school reports, and so on. It goes on to say that the idea was introduced in the late 70s, but it was officially adopted by the Department for Education in the early 90s. Then it became mandatory in 93 when I was 13. And then the idea was, where it says it was hoped that pupils would continue to add to their records after leaving school, and that it would be used by employers. So a kind of official, sort of state-sponsored, if you like, literally record of achievement. It then goes on to say the National Record of Achievement failed to meet these aspirations. In the mid-90s, it was common to use them for further education admissions, for instance, sixth form college, but university never found them relevant, nor many employers, and so on and so forth. So it was essentially disbanded. So now I looked inside. I've actually filled in all the usual stuff, information, but it's got all my GCSE certificates and A-level certificates. And I think for a period of time as well, if I did any courses, outside, I just put them in here, probably for convenience as much as anything else. So essentially this is now just simply a glorified folder somewhere for me to put things. I mean, the reality is it doesn't surprise me that employers didn't really latch onto them, because employers, particularly in the private sector, they hate bureaucracy. They hate being told what to do. They haven't got time for that. They want to make their own decisions. They want to decide what's important, what's not important. The idea that the state would be able to influence that is ridiculous. But we won't go down that route because I'll go off on a tangent. It did get me thinking, though. The idea of building your own sort of personal folder of achievements, your own records. And I'm not even talking about a CV now, because of course that's really what, if you were to talk about that concept, a CV is very often the sort of answer to that. Yeah, but we do that for job interviews. What I'm talking about here is the value of almost keeping your own record of progress in life. And it is purely for your own benefit. A few years ago, actually quite a few years ago, when I first started my so-called career, I made a habit of saving things like emails where I was praised for a project or a piece of work, or something ad hoc that would happen that was good. I'd maybe print that out or take a screenshot of it or something like that. And the idea wasn't to boast. I mean, I didn't show anybody these things. It was really just to, I suppose, give me a little bit of confidence. It was to say, well, you don't forget this. It's easy to forget stuff, that happens, a little remark or an email or whatever. But I think being able to record those things as you go along, I think it's really, really important. Um, it's a sign of progress, whether that's, good or bad. Actually, you could possibly record some of your low points. You could make a note of days that, you think, I'm up against it here. Maybe I've made the wrong choice, the wrong call. Maybe this idea, is not going well. Maybe this training that I undertook isn't happening as, isn't going as well, or something that I was striving for hasn't come off yet. Those sort of moments of doubt, I think might be worth capturing just as much as the highs, if you like. And the idea of it, as I say, is to create your own documentation of progress. Your own portfolio. Um, I think if you're somebody who's doing things that are particularly creative or very hands-on, you're in the business of making things, whether it's sort of art or design, whether you're going down a route of apprenticeship, whether you're going down a skills-based route or training-based route, whatever it may be, just being able to put these things together and give yourself a sense of progress that you can look back in 6, 12 months' time and say, hold on, actually, I've come quite far here. To give yourself a boost, or maybe if you have achieved those things, to look back and go, yeah, and so now I need to reset and give myself some more things to do. This very uniform folder, like I say, it's kind of a glorified just document folder for me now, and probably many other people of similar age to me. It's a bit bland. But the good thing about actually having a physical folder, the age we live in, everything is digital. Everything's on an app or in your email folder, or done virtually. I think actually there is some value to having things printed out, to having a physical copy of something. And maybe make your own folder, make something that looks a bit lively. Just put a collage on, or decorate it yourself, or maybe have it as a box file. Some of the things you might just want to scribble down on a piece of paper. Other things you might want to present in a nicer way. But do it for yourself. Make it work for you, because nobody else is going to do it. And as we've seen, when the state gets involved, it never really goes well. Anyway, something to think about. I might put this back, and I doubt whether I'm going to see this for another 10 years.